Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Anna Manuel. Former New York Lieutenant Governor Brian Benjamin appearing in court today after being charged with counts of bribery and fraud. Benjamin is accused of directing state funds to a group controlled by a real estate developer who was a campaign donor. Prosecutors say the amount of $50,000 was given to the group. This was in 2019 when he was serving as a state senator. He's currently out on a $250,000 bond. He had been handpicked by Governor Hochul and was her running mate in the upcoming election. Political experts say the criminal charges create a major political test for Hochul. A teen arrested after a disturbance at Family Dollar. Police say the incident happened at the store's location on Chemung Place. According to police, they received calls of a disturbance where witnesses say threats of using a gun took place. When they arrived, they learned the suspect had left the area, and this led to a pursuit. Officers were able to catch the suspect after a foot chase where they eventually caught him and located 2 hidden handguns. Both were loaded. The 17-year-old has been charged with 2 counts of criminal possession of a weapon. Dozens of people are injured after several weekend mass shootings, and some law enforcement warned the violence is likely to increase. Garrett Tenney has more.
It was a violent Easter weekend across the country. 3 mass shootings, leaving at least 2 teenagers dead and dozens injured. South Carolina authorities are investigating a lounge shooting that wounded at least 9 people early Sunday. About 90 miles to the north in Columbia, more than a dozen people injured after gunfire erupted Saturday at a shopping mall. Police believe a dispute among at least 3 people led to the violence. They charged 22-year-old Jawayne Price with unlawful possession of a gun. He was released on house arrest after a judge set bond at just $25,000, allowing him to go to work with an ankle monitor.
When I tell you, people were coming out of every single exit as fast as possible. It was a pretty serious situation.
And in Pittsburgh, 2 teenagers were killed during a party at a short-term rental home. Police say they believe multiple shooters were involved.
To look at, and there's blood on the second floor window and stuff like that. That is like really, really messed up.
The shootings come as major cities see a spike in crime. New York City Mayor Eric Adams says the increase is a national issue, and he's urging officials to rebuild trust with the community.
We can't rebuild that trust by allowing those who are dangerous and that have a repeated history of violence to continue to be on our streets.
And with summer approaching, authorities are warning that violence rates will likely increase as the temperatures rise. In Chicago, I'm Garrett Tenney, Fox News.
Russian forces are stepping up their missile attacks in western Ukraine, hoping to soften up the country's infrastructure ahead of a planned offensive in the east. Matt Finn has more from Lviv, Ukraine.
Russian missiles are now targeting Ukrainian cities in the west on day 54 of the invasion. Here in Lviv, the first war fatalities were reported in a city that had become a safe haven for those fleeing the fighting in the east. Ukrainian officials say the Russians hit 3 warehouses and a tire shop. More evidence, they say, that civilians are being deliberately targeted.
What we see in Ukraine today is a genocide that the aggressor is carrying out on purpose, killing civilians. These civilians had plans for life. Today, their lives have ended.
Russian shelling also intensifying in eastern cities like Kharkiv ahead of a major offensive there. And in Mariupol, the last pocket of Ukrainian resistance is now holed up in a sprawling steel plant. They're reportedly running low on basic supplies like food and ammunition. But President Volodymyr Zelensky is vowing to fight to the end, claiming the Russians have no interest in peace.
They want to literally finish off and destroy the Donbass, destroy everything that has brought fame to this industrial region.
Zelensky is calling for a stronger international response as he prepares to defend eastern Ukraine. And with both sides digging in, experts say this war is not likely to end soon.
Both sides have now lost too many civilians, too many military deaths to easily and quickly get up.
And just behind this tire shop is a hotel. There are a lot of refugees staying there. We spoke to one man from Kharkiv. He said his sister and a baby were taken to the hospital. In Lviv, Ukraine, Matt Finn, Fox News.
Russian airstrikes in the western Ukrainian city of Lviv left at least 6 dead and another 11 wounded. According to Lviv's mayor, some of the injured were children. They believe multiple explosions were caused by 4 different Russian missile strikes against the city. Lviv's regional governor reported that 3 of the missiles hit Ukrainian military buildings. The chairman of the Ukrainian Rail Service also said one of the missiles hit near a railroad facility, causing delays to train service. Bird flu cases keep surging nationwide, with more than 30 states currently affected. The CDC reported that the disease spread is high among birds. However, the public health risk is low. The agency said more than 27 million birds have been affected since January, but no human cases have been reported. The increasing number of cases threatens to surge the price of eggs even further, and other poultry items may be affected as well. Analysts suggest that people remove their bird baths and feeders while the flu risks are high. Should the topics of race and sexual orientation be taught in the classroom? And if so, to what extent? Those are the questions stirring up debate across the nation right now. As Chris DeMeo tells us, school districts are re-examining their curriculum.
Philosophies about how and what we teach our nation's school kids are under heavy scrutiny coming out of the pandemic as school districts grapple with how and if topics centering around race and sexuality should be discussed in the classroom. According to a new Associated Press NORC poll, roughly 40% of Americans agree with how current K-12 curriculums discuss race and sexuality. But the topics become polarized along party lines, with 40% of Republicans saying they're taught too much and 40% of Democrats saying they're not addressed enough.
They're delicate and they're not as resilient as adults when it comes to different ideas and theories. And teaching them about racism may not help them.
I want to know what I can do to help make sure that my daughter grows up viewing people equally, no matter what their differences are, no matter what they look like, no matter their gender presentation.
The study comes on the heels of Florida and Alabama passing laws restricting conversations about gender identity and sexuality in the classrooms. And now at least 8 more states, including Arizona, Louisiana, and Missouri, are considering similar actions. These ongoing debates over school conduct are just one of the reasons homeschooling is surging in popularity. Data collected by the Associated Press found only 3% of kids were homeschooled before the pandemic. That number shot up by 63% from 2020 to 2021. And while the number of kids being homeschooled fell by 17% this year, the concept is still gaining traction. Chris DeMeo, Fox News.
Alyssa Triplett is in next with our complete workweek forecast, plus an inside look at how musicians in Ukraine are making sure the show goes on. Stay with us.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Well, we are seeing winter concerns return for the month of April as a late season storm is heading its way up the coast, causing for winter conditions across much of the state of Pennsylvania into New York. And we are looking at even those winter storm warning and winter advisory headlines that will last through at least noon tomorrow. But where we're under the more of that pink highlighted area, that winter storm warning, that's where we're going to see some of the higher impacts from this system as it pushes through. So what we're dealing with is this heavy wet snowfall. We've already seen it this evening, and some of the higher snow accumulations, especially in those higher terrain areas, is going to occur through the overnight. So tomorrow morning's commute is going to be even more difficult to hit the roadways and get out and do those errands, head to work. So make sure if you have to head out that you plan for extra time or delay any plans or errands for your Tuesday before those plows can have that space and time to pick up some of that snowfall, especially where those higher terrain areas may be seeing significant snowfall accumulation. Now, down trees and power lines could be a possibility due to the heavy and wet matter of that snowfall, and that system is going to linger through Tuesday before we'll start to see some clearing as we head into your Wednesday. So through the overnight as expected, we'll see that this is going to be that time frame of that heavy wet snow as we sit just around that freezing mark, falling near 30 degrees into tomorrow morning. When it comes to that snowfall accumulation, as mentioned, we are going to see a little bit less snowfall as we head off to the west, but as you head into that higher terrain, even near Binghamton, you're seeing upwards of 9 or 8 inches of snowfall. Elmira could even walk away with nearly 4 to 5 inches of snowfall as well. So this is going to be a big cutoff of this system as it continues to shift through the area. So through even tomorrow morning, some of those snow showers still lingering just around the Elmira area, continuing to shift its way out to the east. So we'll dissipate the heaviest of it tomorrow morning, but some of that wraparound moisture will continue to bring in scattered rain and snow showers across much of New York and portions of Pennsylvania as you step through the day on Tuesday, before we'll see as we head into Wednesday, starting off a little cloudier, but the sunshine should greet us with some warming temperatures to help melt down some of that snowfall. So high temperatures throughout the day on Tuesday are still going to stay fairly cold and below average. We should be into the 60s this time of the year. We're going to hold to the 40s, so some warming should allow for some of that snowfall to even transition to rainfall again, or even see some of that melting. A little windy though. We are looking at wind gusts up to about 30 miles per hour due to the heavy wet snow matter. No blowing snow looking to be likely there, but still that is going to create those cool conditions at times. So with that windy pattern though, it is going to help for things to improve. We're out to 53 degrees on Wednesday under those mostly sunny skies. Then on Thursday, you're seeing mostly cloudy skies. This is going to be our next chance for some precipitation, maybe some rain showers, and then we're even into the 60s then by Friday, as we will start the weekend off on a quiet note, even potentially hit the 70s on Sunday before we'll be tracking some storm chances.
The Biden administration still hasn't responded to the latest record border numbers. This as more Democrats are joining Republicans to oppose the president's plan to end Title 42. The pandemic Trump-era rule allows federal agents to quickly expel migrants who illegally cross the southern border. Leaders are worried lifting the rule will open doors to a flood of migrants entering our country. Lucas Tomlinson has more.
We need to address these high prices, and urgently.
President Biden traveling to North Carolina and Iowa this week as inflation surged to a new 4-decade high of 8.5%. The president's approval rating sinking to an all-time low of 33% as he struggles to deliver on key agenda items like lowering the cost of college, childcare, and prescription drugs.
We know from the top of our government through the ranks, we all recognize that we have the capacity to do much better.
With gas prices soaring across the country, the White House announced it would reverse course and allow new oil and gas leases on federal land, after the president signed an executive action just days after taking office, halting new drilling leases. The Department of Homeland Security said in a court filing Friday, encounters with migrants on the southern border now the highest in more than 20 years. And next month, the Trump-era public health measure that barred 1.7 million migrants from entering the country over the past 2 years will be repealed.
¿De dónde es? Venezuela.
Last week, Texas Governor Greg Abbott made good on his promise to start sending migrants here to the nation's capital on chartered buses.
The Biden administration and a lot of leaders in Congress have no idea about the chaos they have caused by their open border policy.
With frequent air raid sirens in the background, artists and musicians are still performing live shows in Ukraine. They're using their talents to heal the people, support the army through fundraising, and help fight what they consider to be a war on the Ukrainian people and culture. Photojournalist Tom Whitaker met with one band in Lviv who's doing its part to preserve the Ukrainian culture and give hope to the millions of displaced refugees in this war-torn country.
My name is Marina Krut. I'm singer, composer, and bandura player in Ukraine. I'm born in Ukraine and live and work in Ukraine. Bandura is Ukrainian traditional instrument, and this is a half 65 strings. Bandura created maybe 100 years ago. I play in modern, jazz, soul and pop music in this instrument.
We're just trying to play our jazz with our feelings and trying to use our traditional instruments.
My life is music. My life is singing, playing and create Ukrainian traditional music, Ukrainian modern and contemporary music. Many years, I think more than 100 years, Russian people and Russian government want to kill Ukrainian culture.
Many years we had Russian music here, Russian culture. We was a little bit under Russian Empire, and now we're trying to show the people here real Ukrainian music. We're trying to keep our cultural front.
This is my mission for now. Playing not just for people, playing for army, for everybody.
They need kind of therapy, and we're doing therapy. People listening, a little bit relaxing. It's like cultural medicine.
I want to cure people from my music.
The Los Angeles Rams team up with the Make-A-Wish Foundation to help a California teenager get in shape. Susan Hirasuna has the story.
Not every teen opens his garage to find a brand new gym, and this gym came with some notable features.
Thank you so much for being here and making his wish special. This is the LA Rams.
Oh my God.
The Los Angeles Rams teamed up with Make-A-Wish Tri-Counties to grant Diego Garcia his wish. The Oxnard teen faced the fight of his life facing cancer last year.
Last year we go through a really hard time when my boy, he was in the hospital. And now, see, this thing is, thank you God for this. I appreciate everybody.
At first I was like, there's no way they came out here, right? And then we'd like to welcome the Rams. Oh my God, they're the Rams, the people I see on TV.
Garcia's cancer is in remission, but it's not advisable for him to go back to the gym. This tricked out home gym is exactly what he needed.
I really wanted to get back into shape after, getting so skinny and getting so big, because I wanted to go back to being normal, I guess.
Gift after gift for Diego, overwhelmed and grateful.
Are you serious?
Also grateful, the Rams team members who participated in revealing Garcia's wish.
It makes me feel great. Being able to just, brighten somebody's day, see the smile and the joy in their families' faces, along with just being able to share this moment with our friends and staff members here. It's incredible.
Instead of asking for birthday gifts, one Arizona girl is giving them all away. She's giving up those gifts to help veterans and shelter dogs. Steve Nielsen has the story.
Good boy. Good boy.
This is more than just a dog to Jonathan Bailey.
2006, 2010, I deployed to Afghanistan.
This dog has changed his life.
Good boy. I go home. I don't have very many friends. Life with family is difficult because they don't understand. And he helps me go out there and get a sense of normalcy back.
That story impacted Hadley Gray. She's just 12 years old, and the philanthropist already has a nonprofit called Hadley's Hope. Every year, she gives up her presents and gifts and finds a cause worth fighting for, like Soldier's Best Friend.
Their cause is amazing. They are practically saving 2 lives at once, the shelter dogs and the veteran.
That's right, they save shelter dogs and train them for veterans with PTSD or traumatic brain injuries.
Break. I was able to build that bond, that connection for PTSD and TBI. And Anubis here has done some of the most amazing tasks to help combat those anxieties or depressions.
Hadley got together with the Peoria Diamond Club and is holding a fundraiser during a doubleheader between some high school baseball rivals. Her goal, $15,000. That should support 2 more dogs for 2 more veterans.
It's just amazing to see somebody, young going out and supporting for veterans who have lived through trauma.
I believe that everyone should have something, and I have more than some of these other people have. So it's good to give back to them.
Well, we want to leave you with a smile. Disney is bringing back character meet and greets. Guests will be able to hug and high-five Mickey and Minnie at Walt Disney World and Disneyland starting today. Disney's Hollywood Studios and the Disney Cruise Line are also bringing meet and greets back. Special shows at Walt Disney World as part of their 50th anniversary celebration are being reintroduced as well. From our whole team, thank you for joining us. We hope you have a great rest of your day.